everyone, my name's Sarah and I run a company called Chorley Pilates where we try to help everyone to keep fit and strong and healthy and flexible no matter what their age or ability. So I thought today I'd do some short workouts for you all that you can join in with. They're going to be based on 3 exercises each, so each exercise I'll talk you through the basics, and then we're going to start to add in some modifications, some progressions, some extra little bits so that you do get a total body workout from top to toe. And I mean that, we're going to start working the head and the neck and the feet as well as the whole of the rest of your body. So it really is top to toe. Now what I would say is if you already have an issue or an injury and you're not sure if it's safe or appropriate for you to do this, then please do check with your healthcare provider, whether that's your GP, a physio, a chiropractor, whoever you're seeing and you're under their care. Please do check that, because this program is not designed to be any kind of rehabilitation for issues or injuries. It's really designed for people who are fit and well, but maybe not as active as they'd like to be. Some of you might be quite fit and active and you're going to work through those progressions and do some really tough moves by the end of this. So as I said, I'll talk you through the basic of an exercise, and if you want to stay with any of the simpler versions rather than moving on, just take a little break, do a few more reps and then join in with us when we move on to the next exercise. So what you're going to need, because this first one is all in standing, is just a safe, clear working area. It is ideal if you can do this in bare feet. I know I've got socks on, but they've got individual toes in them, so my feet have that freedom of movement. You're also going to need some weights. Now, when we're working with weights, you always come into a squat, hold them to the chest, and come up. If you haven't got a set of hand weights at home, do not despair. 2 water bottles filled with the same amount of water will be absolutely fine, or a couple of tins out of the cupboard. Okay, so we only need some light weights. It's not anything super heavy that we're going to be doing. So I'm going to put them safely out of my working area so that they're not a trip hazard, and we can start with our warm-up. So I'm going to talk you through Pilates posture, and then we're going to get into some nice stretches and mobilisation before we begin the exercises. So coming into good standing posture, that means your heels are underneath your hip bones. So they're the width of your hips, and so your toes. Okay, so just check you haven't got feet turned in or turned out. You want them nice and parallel, and find that the pressure is in the centre of your heel. So if you roll inwards, just try and lift your arches, press into the centre, and that you've got the same pressure through the ball and the heel of the foot. Now pulling up through the legs, just check that you haven't locked your kneecaps back. Are you feeling tension in the kneecap? Can you soften that? And then thinking about the pelvis, maybe your hips are forwards, you're a bit slouched, or maybe you're a bit arched. Let's see if we can just get those hips sitting level and directly over your ankles again. Okay, so think of drawing the tummy muscles in and pulling up nice and upright. Let's zip up all the way through, so bring those ribs down, lengthen the back of the neck, and think of tucking the chin slightly back. Okay, let's start with some breathing. Breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. I want you to feel it round here, not up here. Breath in and out. One more, just really focus on that breath. Okay, we're going into the gazelle now, so you're going to step one leg back onto the ball of the foot. Make sure you haven't taken your hip with you, hips facing the front. Let's lift the arms, palms down, collarbones wide. So try not to let your shoulders round and hunch, widen the collarbones, flex the wrists. We're going to press down into the heel, lift your toes at the front. Lift those arms, now swing them up, push the heels of the hands to the ceiling, breath in. And swing back. Now the more you push and stretch, the better this is going to be for you. Stretch and push and stretch. One more. and up and stretch. Step in. Let's change sides. Stepping back, hips square, lengthen the spine, chin back, lift the arms, flex the wrists. Let's press down, lift the toes and swing up. Push your big toe into the floor at the back, that's going to help you stretch. Swing back and up. And up. One more. And up. Lovely. Okay, from there we're going to bring feet and knees together. I'd like you to squeeze your knees together and feel how that switches on the muscles in the inside of your thigh. Feel it travel up through the body. We're going to take the arms forwards, collarbone staying wide. We're going to swing and stretch. Turn, breath in, reach out wide. And come back. Try and turn from above the hips. Turn and stretch. Now in a moment, we're going to add in the hips as well. So we're going to turn and stretch, rib cage, hips, reach. Now bring the hips back, then bring the ribs back. Other way, turn, rib cage, hips, hips, rib cage. Once more each way, rib cage, hips. So you're corkscrewing that body round. Turn, stretch, and back. Okay, into some side stretches now. So again, still feet and knees together, pull up tight and tall. Let's take the arm up and over. Inhale, open these ribs here. And exhale. Think of lifting up out of your hip and reaching for the ceiling rather than pressing over. I want you to feel stretched. So it's not a big side bend, it's a side stretch. So over and lengthen, reach for the ceiling. Are you still squeezing those knees together? Okay, adding in the hip again like we did before. Up and over. Now push the hip out, deepen that stretch. And up and down. Pull the knees together. Push out, stretch. And down. One more each way. Up, stretch over. Up and stretch. And down. Okay, a little bit of a challenge here. We're coming back to that hip distance now. We're going to sway forwards and back. Now, if you do have issues with proprioception, so with things like labyrinthitis and stuff, you might not want to do this one. But coming back to that good standing posture, zip up through those abdominals. We don't want anything to move apart from your ankles. Okay, so try and stay as still and as tall as you can. You're going to press into your toes, sway forwards. And then you're going to press into your heels, sway back. Try not to bend at the waist or the hips, so especially as you lean back, try not to bend at the waist. So take a breath out, really pull those tummy muscles in. Don't worry if you go too far and you have to step out of it, that's fine. But we're just going to keep swaying forwards. And back. One more each way. And this is really going to help you when it comes to doing some balance work in a little bit. And centre. So hopefully you felt all those muscles switching on and twitching to help you not fall over. Right, back to facing this way and knees together. Turn the palms to the front and you're going to slide the leg out. Push your big toe away, push your little finger away, stretch and come back in. Slide out, reach and down. Slide out, inhale, reach, and down, slide out and reach, and down, changing sides, slide out, reach, pull those knees together as you close, slide out, stretch, and down, slide out and stretch, and down, one more, and in. Okay, going into the exercises now, so that was our warm up and stretch. Back to hip distance, and as I said, I'm going to work you top to toe, and we're starting with the toes. Right, we're coming to some arm floats. So I want you to lift the arms up to shoulder height, but I want you to feel like you're lifting from your little finger. Okay, that's going to help you feel a connection from here to your shoulder blade. If we think of lifting with our thumb, this happens, and you work all these little over tight muscles up here in the neck and get neck ache. Okay, so we're going to think of leading with the little finger and lead from here. Standing tall. Inhale. Exhale. So let's just get those arms moving before we add in the feet, and then we can focus on getting that lovely feeling into the back. Inhale. Exhale. Now start to add in the feet. We're going to lift the heel, press the knee and the heel forwards. I'd like you to feel a stretch under your toes. Roll back down. Push forwards. Now your hips are staying level, and I want you to feel that you're pushing into your middle toe, second toe, but definitely not your little toe. Okay, that's going to make your ankles very wobbly. So lifting up, rolling down. Now we are going to start building on this. So we're going to take those arms up. Now, use that core, lift your knee, lift the opposite arm. Make sure that your shoulder stays away from your jaw. Peel up and lift and down. Now don't worry if you're just doing a little hover, an inch or so off the floor. That's absolutely fine. The stronger and more confident you get, the higher you'll be lifting that knee. Just make sure your hips stay level and you're not using your back to do this. So if you can look in a mirror and you feel like you're doing that, don't do that. Use your leg muscles. Peel up and lift. Okay, we're going to add in an extension now, so you're going to be working the quads, front of your thigh. Right, we're going to peel up. Lift that knee. Now extend the leg. Try and keep your knee at the same height. Fold it back in. Roll it back down. Peel up. So think of growing taller as you lift that knee, rather than scrunching down into it. So your body will kind of want to go into this safe position because it thinks you're going to fall, and it kind of hunches down. So I want you to think, pull up taller, use every muscle you've got to hold you upright and tall. Pull up and down, peeling up, extend, in and down. We'll do one more each leg. And down, last one. And down. Right, we're now going to take that leg behind us. So this is where you're going to use your weights. So safely, if you're using them, picking up your weights, fingers round, thumbs up so that we don't strain the elbow joint. We're coming back to hip distance and we're going to hinge forward. So you're going to slide the leg out behind you and you're going to take the arms forward. So we're going to hold them there. You're going to lift and tap. Lift the toe, tap. Now just make sure both hip bones are pointing the same way. And you're keeping your tummy muscles pulled in as you do this. So try not to lift that leg by arching your back. I want you to use those glute muscles. Now we're going to stay there. We're going to do some bicep curls. Curl in, stretch out. Last two, and one. Okay, from there, we're going to bend that front knee, come onto the toes on the back foot, onto the ball of the foot. We're going to lift the arms up, you're staying leaning forwards. I want you to come down into a W shape, and then push up into a Y. Again, make sure that you're not lifting your shoulders up towards your jaw. You're keeping a long neck. So think that you're pushing through from the point of your shoulder blade. Last two. Last one. And stepping in. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So hip distance, abdominals in, sliding back, take the arms slightly forward, hips are square, and we're going to lift that toe and tap. So pull the tummy in, exhale as you lift. Two more. Last one. And then toe down, come onto the ball of the foot, bend the front knee into your bicep curls. So you're twisting, you'll notice I'm twisting. I'm bringing my wrist towards my shoulders. So that's making sure I'm working all the muscles in that upper arm area, in the bicep area, because there's two. So we need to twist. One more. And then taking those arms up, W. Exhale, push up. Inhale down. Exhale, push up. Inhale down. Exhale, push up. Last one. And stepping in. And that takes us nicely to lunges. So, I'm going to stay with our weights. We're going to kind of forget we've got hold of them now. They're nice and light, so it shouldn't be too much trouble. You're going to step one leg back. Make sure you've stayed hip distance, because if you go narrow, you're going to feel very wobbly. So hip distance. Feel like you stood on your front leg as though you're about to take another step. Ball of the foot on the back foot, so your heel is off the floor. It stays off the floor. Now, most time you see people doing lunges, they're upright. Okay? This puts a lot of strain on your knee joint, so I'm going to get you to do it a slightly different way, which is better for your knees. Okay, you're going to hinge forward, so think of making a straight line from your heel to the base of your skull. Okay, we're just going to bend those arms in. Let's just keep them there. Come down into a lunge, bend your knee forwards over your toes and push back up. Now I want you to make sure that you feel you're switching on this hamstring, so back of the thigh on that front leg. Okay, otherwise you might be again hitching your hip and using your back to do this. Now it doesn't matter if you don't get down very far, quality, not quantity. And one last one. Okay, pushing up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some triceps. So we're going to take those arms up and you're going to bend the elbows to take the weights behind your head. Elbows are high, head is back. So try not to let your chin push forwards. You're in that hinge. Now as you come down to that lunge, you're going to push the arms overhead, bend them back in. Pushing out. Two more. One last one. And bring those arms down. Right. We're going to go into a bow and arrow now. Let's take the arms forward. So again, you can do this without your weights if you'd rather. Come down into your lunge. You're going to pull the arm back. Opposite arm to the leg that's forwards. Pull back. Now notice that your hips are staying level because we want to really hold on to that for this next bit. You're going to come down, turn. Don't let your hip lift. So make sure you lunge, then turn. Turn back. And up. Two more times. And up. Last one. And up. Right. Changing sides. Into our straightforward lunges. Weights just tucked by your hips for a bit of support. Hinge forward. Collarbones wide. Let's come down. And push up. Last two. And one. Okay, ready to take those arms up. Tuck them behind the head. And coming down, push over. And fold back in. And push. And in. Knees over toes. So make sure that front knee isn't twisting inwards. Last one. And in. Okay, ready for bow and arrow. Arms forward, collarbones wide. Let's pull back. And forwards. Adding in that rotation if you can. So keep the hip level, turn from above the hips, turn back, push up, lunge, rotate, back, and up. Two more. And up and in. Very well done. So I'm just going to pop those weights safely down again for a moment. Although we will need them again soon. We're coming to an exercise called the monkey squat, but we're going to learn the hip hinge first. Right, so feet a little bit wider than your hips. Back into that good standing posture though. So think, lift the hip bones. Make sure they're over your ankles, spine tall, chin nodded. Now you're going to take your hands, you're going to pop them into the crease at the top of your hips. Okay, and I want you to think of hinging from there. Keep the spine long, and that includes the back of your neck. So try not to look forwards. Lengthen the back of the neck, look down at your mat and push back up. So pushing back, keep the spine tall and back up. We don't go too far, just about 45 degrees and back up. Now if you need to stay with this, but if you can, we're going to add in a squat. Now when we squat, same position with the body, think of lowering your hips towards the floor rather than your chest. So a common mistake that I see is people come down into a squat by doing that and trying to get their chest to the floor. Chest stays lifted. Okay, let's stay tall. Press into your heels, hinge forwards. Now start to lower your hips. Lower your hips, keep your toes down, push back up. Really important that all your toes stay down in a squat. If your toes lift up, your core switches off. Did you know that? Interesting fact, the body, human body is fascinating. It does all sorts of weird and wonderful things. Now again, make sure you're using your hips, your knees are going over your toes. Watch for them dropping in together. Let's do a couple more. And one last one. Okay, now we're going to add in a bit of shoulder work to this. So I'm going to come back just a little because I need a bit more room for my arms. We're going to swim the arms round. So you're going to hold that squat and then you're going to push the arms round as though you're swimming. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and then bring them back again. Okay, so we're adding that in. Feet a little bit wider. Stand tall, keep that chin nodded, okay? If you want, imagine holding an orange under your chin. Come into your heels, hinge forwards. Let's come down into that squat. Now turn and push round. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Squeeze and back. And push round. Two more, can you hold that squat? Last one. And pushing back up. Right, we're going to add in some heel lifts now. We're going to take the arms across the chest. Some of you might want to take your hands onto your hips, okay? Because what we don't want to happen in this squat is that as you lift your heel, your whole hip swings up and down, okay? You're going to try and keep them level. So this is really going to work those calves, okay? So focus there for me. Right, hands across the chest or onto your hips. Come back to that squat now. Let's hold it. Lift one heel. Down, other heel. Try and stay low. Squeeze that calf. Hips staying still. Are you feeling your thighs burning a bit as well? Hopefully. One more each leg. And then take the arms forwards. And push back up. Okay, we're going to grab those weights again now, nice and safely. So use your squat, bring them in. Let's push up. Fingers wrapped round, thumbs up. Back to squat position. Okay, we're going to do an arm float to shoulder height. So I'd like to remember for me about thinking of lifting from your little finger, okay? So into your heels, hinge forwards, come down to that squat, lift. Feel that back switch on. Hinge and lift. And down. Two more. And last one. Hopefully you're feeling your core burn a little bit as well with these weights. Right, from there we're going to go into a fly. So palms down, weights almost together, collarbones wide, elbows high. Right, into the heels. Hinge forwards, come down to your squat, pull the elbows back. push back up, pull back and push up. Make sure those toes are staying down. Keep going. Last one. And back up. So very well done. Okay, from there I'm going to put my weights down nice and safely. And we're going to put a couple of those moves together now. So the knee lift that we did at the beginning and the squat. So we're starting with feet hip distance. We're going to be travelling a little bit side to side. Right, standing tall, you're going to peel up into that knee lift. Now step out to the side, come down into your squat. Now straight back up into your knee lift. Try not to drag your foot in across the floor. Step it back out, come into your squat, up, knee lift, step it out, into your squat, up, and knee lift. Last time this side, squat, but this time we're not coming into a knee lift. Palms forwards, take the arms out, hinge over, lift the toe. Can you hold a balance for me? And down and back in. Right, let's do those to the side. Peeling up, lift the knee, step it out, into your squat. Remember to just pick it straight back up. Try not to drag it along the floor. And pick up, and out, and squat. And picking up, and out, and squat, and pick up. Last one. Remember, we're not coming back up, we're going into a triangle balance. Let's turn those palms, hinge over. Now hinge from here, try not to bend at your waist, stay tall. Lift that toe into your balance and hold. And coming back down. Okay, right, time to cool the body down a little bit now. So let's come back to some nice stretches. I'm going to stretch out those legs first. Let's step back, push the heel down, feel your calf stretch. So you're coming into a lunge. Never press on a joint, so always press onto a muscle. So I'm pressing onto the thigh rather than onto the knee. And then if you soften that back knee, you'll feel the stretch go into your Achilles tendon at the back of your heel. So that's really good for anyone who's athletic or dances or does gymnastics. Okay, we're going to step onto that back leg now and come into a stretch for the front leg. And recover. Okay, changing sides. Step back, hand onto the thigh, push the heel down. So ease into that stretch, find where it's good for you. Try and get your heel down. Never bounce into a stretch, always ease into it and allow the body time to release the tension that it's holding there. And then again, bend that knee. And then let's come back. Lift the chest, so try not to just collapse down into this stretch. Think of lifting the chest. Again, don't press onto the knee, press onto the thigh. And up. We'll give those shoulders a bit of a stretch. So let's clasp them together behind the back, push them away. Lift. Open the shoulders, so feel them draw back, stretch the chest. And then we'll take them round. Nod the chin, stretch them forwards. Breathe into the back. Let's take the arms up, stretch them back. And release. Let's take the arms forwards. Swing down and turn. We've done this one before. Big breath in. Reach and back again. Turn and stretch and reach. And come back, and then let's just take a big breath in. Stretch up. And down. And very well done. Hope you enjoyed that. So the next one is going to be another 3 different exercises and different variations and progressions on those. So do feel free to join us. If you'd like to join us for more classes, then we are running live online classes, and there's a YouTube channel for subscribers over on our Chorley Pilates classmates page.